to do this several
It is
refreshers.
time. It is time. Time for us to begin. It is time. It is time.
Are you
Okay,
singing?
Oh, wait.
now
I was
we are
just saying, were you singing a lullaby, dude?
It sounded like it. It is time. It is time for everyone to go to bed. It's time.
How about no? How about no? Because I don't want to go.
all right. That's so
Yeah, live.
hilarious. Yep, we are live.
Oh shoot, we're live.
Yes.
Was that recorded live?
I'm pretty sure it was because it was live when you guys were doing that. But all right, welcome everyone to the for another episode of Team Serenity. Woohoo! And of course, I am joined by MemeQueen and AndrewHVA.
Hi, I'm Zoey.
Yeah, hey, what's up?
Yeah, and we are doing our review of Kpop Demon Hunters, which is apparently the #1 movie on Netflix. And it was just like a perfect opportunity to do one because this movie like really blew up. And it's like a summer like what do you call it? What do you call those when it's like summer hits? Like, because this literally released like summer hits that released like 2 months ago on Netflix. And it's just like a perfect opportunity. And as you notice, Team Serenity, just for this live stream, our OCs are dressed as Huntrix. Woohoo! What a perfect opportunity, right? So let's get started on our review of Kpop Demon Hunters. And of course, we are going to start with the very, very amazing Bobby, who is basically the Huntrix manager.
He is indeed.
Heck yeah.
Who would like to go first to talk about Bobby?
Me. I want to talk about Bobby.
Go ahead, Doom.
So as we all know, Bobby is like a very likable character. We have no complaints about him, right?
Nope, no complaints.
No complaints. No, he's very likable.
Mm-hmm. Wait, Leah, did you warn anything about spoilers?
Oh yeah, let me do that. Sorry about that. Oh yeah. For those, if you are tuning in and have not seen Kpop Demon Hunters, this is spoiler discretion. We will be going into spoilers. So if you have not watched the movie, please be sure you go watch it on Netflix. Or if you're gonna watch it in theaters, because they are releasing it in theaters with a sing-along version. Fun fact.
Heck yeah!
But please please be sure if you do not want to be spoiled, do not tune into this live stream and go watch it and then come back after you watched it. There you go. Now you can talk about Bobby too.
Anyways, what I love about Bobby is that like even though he's like the manager of Huntrix, he's really, really chill.
Mm-hmm.
And like what manager do you know goes like, I have gotten you guys like a whole 2 weeks vacation in a really expensive resort, and they're like that's awesome, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would love that.
Yeah.
And imagine just giving all that up just so that you can be on the couch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Couch.
Yeah.
Couch.
Anyway, not the case. I also love that he's also really supportive with Huntrix. Like he looks out for their well-being, like dances along with them. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
The only and like the only flaw that he ever had was like him getting possessed into like liking Saja boys.
Mm-hmm.
Like people would say like, oh, but he switched teams. That wasn't his fault. It was the demons talking, bro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was the demons.
It's like he treats Huntrix like his daughters. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the dad. You know what I mean? He's like that lovable dad that just cares about his children.
Mm-hmm. Like when you think about it, like I kind of feel like Bobby was way better than Celine. Even though, but the fact is that Bobby was unaware, that the that Huntrix are like demon hunters, obviously. He's unaware of this, but at the same
Mm.
time, I kind of feel like Bobby treats Huntrix like better than Celine.
Oh,
Yeah,
he does.
like he treats Huntrix way better. Like I get it, because it's like we're gonna go into the story in a different segment, but yeah,
He's so
Celine,
supportive. He's so supportive. He listens to Soda Pop and saying it's yeah, they're amazing, but they suck.
yeah, like he's got like, like literally, yeah, because literally he's basically the Huntrix's manager. It's like, yeah, it's like I'll admit they're good, but it's like, but they suck though.
Like nothing
um,
beats my girls.
They suck in
mhm.
comparison.
Um, but yeah, like I think my favorite part is literally the screenshot because I love the face that he makes in that scene. And he's like moving his shoulders. And then you see like Zoey doing the same thing. And then like I think it was either Rumi or Mira. It's like, stop it. Stop
Both of them
dancing.
were like that.
Yeah,
They're like, stop it. It's like, why are
control
you
yourself.
And do you wanna know what I love about Bobby the most?
What?
He's voiced by Ken Jeong.
The same the same guy who's like in the back of the classroom going like, ha, gay.
It's crazy because when I heard the voice, I'm like, "Is that Ken Jeong? It sounds like him." And then I saw him in the credits. I'm like, "It is Ken Jeong." I was like, "No wonder the voice sounded so familiar." Um, but how about you, Andrew? What do you love about Bobby?
I just think he's a very likable character. He's fun, and he's also quite funny as well. Yeah, I just
Mhm.
think he's very likable. He's got good character traits, kind of
Mhm.
kind of bubbly actually, kind of bubbly traits.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also something I agree with. Yeah, like most managers, they are usually like very like strict with with who they're
Yeah,
representing, right? But Bobby is like, as you said, Doom, he's so chill. And most managers for like music groups or musicians, they can be very strict, but Bobby is like the 180 opposite. And and I think my favorite part where they're like, "Oh, it's like Bobby can handle it," and then he calls them, "I can't handle it."
I love that bit. Yeah,
Like I'm kind of like I just love how Huntrix has like they are very fate they have great fate in Bobby. Even though Bobby can be like, I don't know if I can handle the pressure, right? But I think what I also love, I forgot which scene it was in the movie. There was he literally said, "My girls will sing when they feel they're ready." And I clap my hands for that because I'm just like, man, this manager really is so caring because in reality, like most managers are not like Bobby, and
no,
Bobby is such a great role model for managers. Managers real life, please follow Bobby's like
yes.
please follow Bobby's
Please be like
example.
Bobbies. We need more
we
Bobbies
ex-
everywhere.
we expect managers to be like this, be like him. Take notes.
Yes,
Yeah,
be like Bobby.
yeah, like it's
Sounds like an
really
advert, doesn't it? Like a commercial. Be more like
yeah,
Bobby.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, like Bobby is like just for like a character, like I think every time he was on screen, even though it was like not that much, he always he always shined, in whatever scene he was in. Like like it's like crazy to think about that I had this in my Twitter space for Kpop Demon Hunters. So, I literally had this conversation with this person named Amy. That's their actual real name,
Mhm.
and and we had this great deep analysis about Bobby. And it's like, isn't it crazy that I've never heard anybody who's seen this movie complain about Bobby? And I think Bobby is just so lovable for that, you know. Right? Like, Doom Andrew,
Oh
like
yeah,
any other
yeah,
person that
definitely.
you've talked to, they never complain about Bobby, right?
It's
No,
true. Yeah,
never.
yeah. I've spoken to some people in my shop, and they're like, no one says anything bad about Bobby. They love Bobby.
Me and my sisters love Bobby so much we would scream every time he appeared on screen.
Yeah, like, yeah, like Bobby is just so lovable as a character. Like the fact that the fans and people who've seen this movie like don't complain about him, and I like that. Um yeah, and like Kenny said here in the chat, for a secondary character, he did an amazing job shining on his own. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
have
love
He
him
to
did.
so
Yeah,
much.
like I have
I
to agree
totally
with
agree.
yeah,
Yeah,
like he has perfect comedic timing in specific parts, and that's, I think, it always like shines through. Like, even though obviously Rumi, Mira, and Zoey are like the mains, obviously, but their manager for a secondary character, he shines on his own, you know.
exactly. And he has like what small like couple of minutes of screen time, and it feels
Mhm.
like he has more.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
He
does
leaves an
actually.
impact. He leaves a massive impact.
yeah. And I think, like like Sony Pictures did a great job for even like the secondary characters, because like like Bobby is just one of those great examples of like, this is how you do a secondary character. Even though they are not on screen as much as the mains, you gotta make that secondary character shine. And Bobby is like, I would
Yeah,
have to say, is like the perfect example of like, even though he didn't have as much screen time as like Huntrix or the Saja boys or anything like that, but he shined every time, and I always laughed at his scenes. And I actually showed this to Ultimate because he hadn't seen the movie until I showed it to him, and he kept laughing at Bobby's parts. And I told him, you are going to love Bobby. It's like, he's not on screen that much in the movie, but he just makes such an impact. Um, just for like comedic timing. And Kenny says here, I better see more of Bobby in the sequel. Please, please, we need more Bobby screen time. Wouldn't you
yes,
guys want that? We need more Bobby screen time.
Yes.
definitely.
Like
Demon
Bob
Hunters 2, The Return of Bobby.
There was-
Return of Bobby. Um, but any particular parts did you guys like whenever Bobby was on screen? I'm very curious.
Any parts? I would say any part he was in, really, every scene.
every scene he was just adorable. I also love that when Huntrix was writing Takedown, he was just so down to earth with them
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
and supporting their ideas, even though he has no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, like, I think what's also interesting is that one scene where like Bobby is like panicking, and then he sees, oh, at least tonight looks fine, right? Because from his perspective, he doesn't see all the holes. Like the Han Moon is like breaking, unlike the Huntrix, they can immediately see all of those, like, oh no, like, oh no, it's like the Han Moon is like not like, you know, it's like broken, you know, and I think that made a lot of impact, because Huntrix obviously didn't say anything because they know that their manager is unaware,
Mhm.
and they're like the only ones that can see it. And
Yeah.
I think that scene was just very great, because like, um, because like Bobby's like, oh, there's nothing to worry about, and then you see like the Huntrix just have like these serious faces just looking out the window. I'm
It looks
just
so
like,
funny out of context.
yeah. Like, because like Bobby is like, oh, there's nothing to worry about. I'm like, that's, well, you're just so well, the thing is you don't know. You know, but it's better that way, if you know what I mean, because like obviously the humans are like, most humans are like unaware about demons, you know. Um Obviously, but but that part was like, I think it was just so interesting where Bobby's like, "Oh, there's nothing to worry about," you know, like and then Huntrix is just like serious and they don't say anything to him in that part. Oh, like, "Oh, this is interesting." um
We've
but
been talking about Bobby for like 15 minutes, and it just shows how amazing Bobby is.
Yeah,
mhm,
and we can
yeah.
keep going.
But any other thoughts about Bobby before we move to the next segment?
um, okay, here's something that I want to talk about that I want to say, but I can't really talk about because I don't want to get too deep into it. Like, he's such a good character that he's on any girl's hear me out list. That's how.
Mm. Ah, gotcha. How about you, Andrew? Any final thoughts about Bobby before we move to the next segment?
Yeah, I hope he comes back in the sequel with more, and he
Yeah.
gets to do his own. Wait for I haven't finished, and he gets to do his own song.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. That would be amazing. Oh my gosh, that's a I would, yeah, screen time, he definitely needs more screen time. Like with just what he had in the movie, I think it was like perfectly fine because obviously he's a secondary character, but they did a pretty good job establishing him. Um, and he shines in every scene. So kudos to you, Bobby. We love you, Bobby.
Bobby's freaking awesome.
All right, so let's go to the next segment. Ho ho ho! We are now going into the story of the Demon Hunter. Who would like to go first? Of what did you guys think of the story and the premise?
Hmm. Okay, I already had the thirst. I already
What?
had the first thoughts on Bobby. I was like, I have like the thirst. What? Wait, what?
Would you like to go first, Andrew, for this one?
I think you should go first.
Oh, okay. I think when I watched this, I was pretty intrigued with the premise and story of the Demon Hunters. Um, I really love how they blended, you know, obviously in Korean culture they have K-pop, you know, and they mix that with their into the story with like demon hunting, you know, and they kind of tap into like the myth the mythology a bit, and having like where like three huntresses or hunters, whichever one you want to go with, they obviously they're like, oh yeah, in order to make sure demons don't come, you know, to shield demons from entering, we're gonna create like this like shield, you know, so that way they won't be able to like come in like in a lot of numbers, obviously. And I kind of like how when it starts the movie, we see like the different generations of demon hunters, and I kind of love how they kind of did it through like different eras, you know, and I think the premise of it was just interesting with oh yeah, it's like we're gonna hunt, you know, demons, and I love that, you know, they show all of that, and then they obviously showcase you know, obviously that Celine, you know, who basically raised Rumi, was pretty much the one who raised yeah, obviously Rumi, and she was a previous like generation of demon hunters, along with Rumi's mom. But we don't. Do you guys happen to know like the third person in the Sunlight Sisters or no?
Oh
I don't
no, no one talks about her.
Yeah, because
We
they
don't
only
talk about them.
but I think it's an interesting premise, combining like music, obviously when you see all those lines, it's supposed to be like a music like string of notes, but it acts like
Mm.
as a shield so demons don't come in. And what's interesting is that like when I saw the flashback, right, you can see that people can see the demons, but like but when you actually see it in that first song, of course we're gonna get into the songs in a different segment, they see it as like costumes, and I'm like, huh? like I don't know, I'm guessing, they just think it's like, what do you call it? um I kind of feel like the people are like, you could say ignorance is bliss. It's best for them to not know, but at the same time, I'm just like, wait a minute, how come in the first generation, like people who, who shouldn't be able to see it, like shouldn't be able to see demons, can see the demons, right? And you see them
Mm.
like attack, right? Attack the demons, right? The demon hunters attack the demons, and it's like, but how come in present day, like when Huntrix is like performing, obviously, as I said, we're gonna get into the songs like a little bit later, but it's
Mhm.
like, how come the public sees it as like costume? I'm like,
Mm.
Um, I
Yeah.
it's interesting.
I think it's because like the whole attack on with like demons and stuff, like, and the hunters came along. People see that and then thought like, man, that would make a and thought like, man, this is going down on the history books. But then like later on, they're going to see this as like a legend or a fairy tale.
Mm,
So much so that they haven't seen like a demon in real life, so they just boldly assume that the demons are just costumes.
mm. Because I think that part always, like, I was confused when I watched it. That part always confused me. But I think it's like you said, Doom. I think it's because, since, since the present day, they've never seen demons, obviously, and they just think, yeah, they're basically like the Scooby Gang. They think it's just a person in a costume. I'm gonna, yeah, I made that comparison, but
It also
but
shows how strong the hunters have been throughout the years.
yeah,
Mm.
like I love the different eras too, because you can clearly see how they have evolved. Like when they first started, you see the first three, right? And then it's like different generations, and you see each of them have like different era outfits,
Yeah, I love
and
that. Yeah.
and then, of course, the previous one before Huntrix was obviously the Sunlight Sisters that had like Celine and Rumi's mom, and of course the third person, which they never decide to, if they ever decide to give her an identity, or something. But I think the premise is just interesting because like the three demon hunters have to like harmonize to create this barrier shield. um and I think that's like very intriguing because I don't think I've ever seen like storytelling like this before. It was definitely, it definitely like made me hooked onto the movie, like because I think they do a great job. Like as soon as you start the movie, you're like, they obviously get into the like the the story, the premise of like, oh yeah, this is how the demon hunter started, um and then it shows the different generations. I think that was like a perfect way to do that, and then introduce the current generation of demon hunters. And as like, that's like the perfect way to start out, because if you don't give us context, um of that, then you'll lose your audience. But the fact they do that in the beginning was perfect, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. It felt very what's the word? Quite cinematic in the opening, and really gets you into the whole lore and the background and everything in a short space of time, which is really cool.
Yeah. That's what I love, because if you give us context, it makes us care about the story.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
because if you don't give us that context, I don't think this movie would have been as successful as it is if they didn't give us like the background, at least in the beginning of it, where it's like you have to make your audience care. And obviously they did that perfectly, just showing us the background of um oh, and I see Kenny's comment here that I love the whole concept of music being a magic superpower to defeat evil, guys. Yeah.
Oh yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
That's
I
true. Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, like I love the premise, and literally I think the one of the creators of this literally wanted to make an animated movie that was reflecting of her Korean background. And the fact that they did that like pretty well for an animated movie, I gotta commend them. Like, and like I said, like using music as a as a superpower to defeat the demons was like such a perfect idea. It was definitely the perfect way to do that, because obviously you gotta mix in the K-pop because it says K-pop Demon Hunters, right? So I think they mixed that very well into the story. Wouldn't you guys say?
Mm, I think so. Yeah, it's a very creative and unique concept. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Doom? What did you think of the story, background story of the Demon Hunters?
It it's like a I do think it's like a really interesting concept. Like I love that music is like something that music can do a lot of things. It can save your life. It can keep you from doing it can let you do something productive or something. It keeps you moving.
It can, yeah, inspire you. It's powerful music.
Yeah, I guess in the power of you believing in yourself, you can have like similar vocals as any singer if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
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 Like I think what was intriguing in the story is that like Guima is like you could clearly tell that like you failed me, right? Guima, the big bad, right? That flaming huge demon. um and stuff, and he is getting tired of his minions like failing and stuff. And then Jinu literally says, "Oh yeah, let's fight fire with fire." And I'm kind of like, "Yeah, how come you never thought of this, Guima?" Because obviously the demon hunters have to be, they have to harmonize. That's how they keep the shield, right? That's how they keep the Han Moon, or the Han Moon shield like intact, you know um and
It's either
stuff.
their harmony or like how much the fans love the song.
Because it's quite intriguing, because obviously in the middle of the story you can clearly see it's breaking apart, and it's like, oh. But you gotta admit, Jinu had the perfect plan, because obviously like Guima literally was just like laughing at the idea that we're gonna resort to a boy band. And it's like, I was like, "Hey, don't knock it till you try it." Like your minions like failed. So I'm kind of like, you know, when you think about Jinu, it's like we have to fight fire with fire. So I think it was clever to have the boy band at least be the rivals to Huntrix, obviously.
Mhm.
and and that plan worked when you think about it. So I'm just like, I was like, who's laughing now, Guima? You know,
Mhm.
but I think, you know, with I think what was also interesting is that I don't know if you guys saw this. I saw a post, I think on Twitter. Someone pointed out that like, so like they always show in the all the generations of demon hunters that one of them may have demon patterns. I don't know if that's the case for the previous generation or anything, but someone pointed out that even before, you know, obviously the reveal that Rumi was half demon, like they literally said, oh, it was actually showcased and foreshadowed on her clothes. Like on each of like the previous generations, oh, at least one of the hunters has like, I don't know. I don't know where they got that idea, but um it was an interesting thing that someone pointed out, and I'm just like, oh. And they literally particularly talked about Rumi, obviously. And it's like, oh yeah, they hinted it on Rumi's clothes. I was like, huh? I was like, I didn't notice anything about the I didn't even notice. So I was like, I don't know if I don't really know if their like analysis was correct or anything, but like I think like it could be a possibility that they may have hinted that Rumi um may, you know, was, you know, have the patterns even before the reveal, right? I don't know if that's the case. That I just saw that tweet
I
about
don't know what you're talking about because you said it was like foreshadowed on her clothes.
yeah, I don't know. That was literally what the person said on the tweet. I was like, oh,
I was questioning like on Rumi's clothes because if you're saying if they're saying Rumi's clothes, I'm like, which one?
yeah, that's what like. I don't know. Like that's what they said on the tweet. I don't know if that was in. I don't think it was intentional because I didn't notice any. Like I think they were talking about the one where she wears the yellow blazer, but I'm like, I didn't notice any foreshadowing. Like I don't know where you got this idea, but
Yeah.
so I was a little bit confused by that person's tweet. But what was like did you guys have a feeling that Rumi was part demon, or were you guys really shocked?
I mean, I didn't. I mean, like, of course, Rumi's the main character, so I shouldn't be surprised. However, I didn't see that coming.
Mm.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming, but I wouldn't say I was like in super shock.
Mm. Yeah, cuz I would say that like the fact that cuz I was literally like, "Oh, okay. Like this is interesting." Oh, and then I said, "This is interesting. So she's a demon hunter, but she's part demon. That's interesting." It's like it kind of shows the irony, if you know what I mean. Like it's ironic, right? Because normally when you think of
Mm.
demon hunters, you would think they're just humans, right? Without them being demon. But like I I guess like Rumi is like the first in any of the generations of the demon hunters to be part demon. Um, but I kind of like the irony of it, if you guys know what I mean.
Hmm?
I just like the irony that like Rumi is a demon hunter, but she's part demon. I just love the irony
Yeah.
of it. Like the irony is just like it fits so well into her character arc into this movie. Um,
Oh yeah, for sure. It gives more depth to the character and more characteristics and more plot points to the story.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because it because if they just had all three of them be humans, then there wouldn't, like Rumi wouldn't really be as like probably like she wouldn't really be as empathetic,
Yeah.
because obviously we are going to go into like the next segment, we are going to talk about Huntrix, obviously, but I think that like doing that, it just shows it just shows more irony that like, oh, she's hunting demons, but she's part demon. Like like oh yeah, that's true. Okay. Kenny did say in the Golden Song they did hint her to be some kind of half demon princess. That's true. That's
Oh yeah,
actually true.
I think it.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually true.
Is there a segment where we talk about the songs?
There is.
Yeah,
We'll get to
don't
that.
worry, it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. But any other thoughts about the story before we move on to the next segment?
I think it's a great story. That's all I can say. It's a fun plot, good conflicts, and great characteristics and character development. That's the word I'm looking for. Yes.
Yeah.
How about you, Do?
I mean, it's a concept I never expected, so like I'm down for it. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, like it's like it's a concept that just blends so well of like the K-pop genre and like the Demon Hunters concept. It blends so well where it's like you keep forgetting that they're like basically like, singers and musicians, but at the same time like they kind of lead like a double life. And I love that. I think that's why I love it, because they have like a double life, you know,
hmm
like when they're not performing, they're like, yeah, let's go hunt demons because that's our other gig.
Don't they?
And
I mean, they do kind of both because like they both perform and hunt demons at the same time. It's just that the difference is people would look at this being a, like special effects.
yeah. All right. So let's go to the next segment. Yes, we have to talk about Huntrix.
Oh, yes.
We have to talk about Huntrix. We just have to because obviously they're like the mains in this
The
movie.
main characters. Yep.
Yeah, like I have to say, like I love their introduction in the movie. I think they did that so well. Because right after that intro of like introducing the backstory, and then we go to the present, and then you literally see you literally see these three being so silly, and they're like on a plane, and they're like, yeah, it's like let's go do our eating prep, right? And then you can see like the demons are like disgusted with what they're doing. They're like putting the food in their mouth, and they're like cringing and think it's so disgusting. Like
Right.
I just love how they can be so silly. Like they don't come off as perfect. They just come off as like they can be goofy and silly when they're not performing, and then when they they're at their best. And I just love the balance that they show, that it's like, hey, it's like they're not perfect. Like, yeah, like they're like just everyone else. When like if especially if you're a singer or or a musician, you gotta eat a lot, you gotta at least like have a lot of energy. and and showcasing that in their first scene when they're on the plane is just funny. Like I laugh so much. They're like ah, like trying to get the food. Like I love how expressive they are too. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Oh, they're really
Oh,
expressive. I love that.
yeah. I love how, yeah, me too. I love how expressive they are. And they're just so very quirky and so much energy as well. I love the chemistry between the three of them.
Because
Yeah.
the amount of times they've been eating together. I mean,
like that scene, I just really love how they show how goofy and silly they are. Because they're because just seeing that, and then they're like, and then they're just like eating, and then Bobby calls them. It's like, why are you guys late? They're like, late? And then and I kind of like how Rumi is like, like obviously when you see like one of the demons is like so nervous, like she's watering like coffee in a plant. And Rumi's like, okay, let me guess, you're a demon. And she's like, what makes you say that? It's like, yeah, you're acting nervous and you're watering a plant with coffee. And then she just drags like and kind of shows her patterns. And then she just steps on her foot like it was nothing. I was like, oh gosh. Like you could tell this movie is gonna be great. um and I think what was funny, and then like Rumi's like, okay, you can all come out. You know,
Yeah, we
like,
already know who you are.
and
Yeah.
then I kind of like Mira's like, oh, looks like you got the patterns. Now you gotta die. And I love how the demons literally were like I think like the what do you call it, what the one that kind of has like a big body build, where he's like, now we're going to, and then like you just hear Mira just burp, and they're like looking at her like weird, and they're like, I said, and then you see like Rumi and Zoey are like, oh, excuse me, what? We're gonna eat your fans. It's like, whoa.
Whoa. No, not at
And
Hey,
then
you're going too far.
like it's funny because from that interaction, it kind of feels like this wasn't their first time dealing with demons in this scenario, because it kind of looks like, oh yeah, this yeah, it's another regular day. Yeah, demons decide to leave. um and I kind of like that interaction. And doing that just really shows what they that they're kind of like, yeah, this isn't our first time, we know the way you're behaving. You could say that one demon really ratted out the others because she was acting so nervous, like, because if you were in their position, you could easily like when you think about it, you could easily like rat that one out, right? That you're like, yeah, you're a demon, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as she said you're a demon, I'm like, yeah, if she's like acting like like nervous and anxious like that, yeah, you could easily tell. Like, um, but I think one of my favorite parts in that scene is like when they said, "Oh, if you mess with our fans, yeah, we gotta make it hurt." And then the demons get like really nervous, see like the Han Moon like like shining right there. They're like, "Uh-oh." And they kind of know, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, looks like we're in for a beating." If you know what I mean? Like they're kind of like I think that was just like so great. But you got this, but you have to admit, like Huntrix, they have like this great chemistry with each other. Because obviously, if you're gonna be in like a band together or a group or a singing group like that, you have to have the best chemistry you can. You know, and this is literal because they do need to be in harmony, right? Like they do need to be in
Mm.
harmony with each other to in order to keep the Han Moon shield up. Because if they're not, you know, it's going to start deteriorating as we see later in the movie. Um, but I think, you know, what I love though is that the singers that they got literally sounds like, oh yeah, this is how I can imagine how they would sound when they're singing. Like Sony really did an amazing job casting the singing voices, wouldn't you guys say?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, because when I hear it, I thought it was like the same VAs. Like, and then when I saw in the credits, I'm like, oh, oh, okay, they do what Disney did Like sometimes they have a speaking voice and a singing voice. I'm like, wow, they casted the singing voices and it sounds so similar to their speaking voices. And I think they did a great job um with that because I like it sounds so seamless. Like it doesn't sound it doesn't sound like, remember how I have this pet peeve in the Miraculous movie that they have the speaking voice be all high pitch and then Marinette's singing voice is very deep. No, that doesn't work that way. So at least in
like Marinette's just was all like, I can't take this not anymore, while her singing voice is like, it's so dark.
yes, so at least in this movie, they cast singing voices that sound very similar to the speaking voice, and I'm like, and it sounds so seamless, right? Like, I'm
Oh, it
pretty sure,
does, yeah.
like, it doesn't sound like it's out of place or like, because when I hear it, I'm like, yeah, this is how I can imagine their singing voices, and the fact that they casted singing voices, that's obviously a different VA from the speaking voice. It speaks volumes, like um, I think they did such a splendid job. It doesn't sound out of place, like it sounds seamless, right? Because especially, when they're like in the middle of a song, they're like you hear speaking and then they get into the singing part and I'm like, it doesn't sound out of place, right? When you hear them sing, like it doesn't sound out of place.
No, it sounds seamless.
Mm-hmm.
Are we
And
talking about Huntrix, or are we just talking about their voice cast?
but yeah, I think I I'm very curious. I'm very curious to know what do you love about their dynamic? I'm very curious to know.
I love the banter, the chemistry, and how each character has their own kind of
Family
different
trauma.
vibe.
What?
What?
Don't they bond on some sort of family trauma? If you
I
think
think
about it.
yeah, actually, you're not
Yes, yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, because like Mira's like the black sheep of the family. She's like completely different to how her family is. Zoe's like born and raised in America.
Mm-hmm.
So, or like just raised in America, and she has like barely any Korean culture that she might have known, and she's like the youngest. So,
Mm.
like from what I hear in Korean culture, they're supposed to like wait for their elders to eat or something, but she just eats the food herself. And with Rumi, her family trauma is like her dad's a demon, her mother's dead,
Mm-hmm.
raised by somebody who only tolerates her instead of loves her.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that part hurts, man. When I saw that in the movie, that really hurt. Like, no, and you worded it perfectly, dude. Tolerated, it's like the perfect word to describe the way Celine was like treating Rumi.
Yeah,
Like,
because she's a demon, but she's the child of a hunter.
mm-hmm. And it's just really sad too because it is going to be a different segment but we can tap into it a little bit here, yeah, like um the fact that like I think from what I heard there was a deleted scene explaining that like um that Celine, like I think she was trying to attack Guima but ended up like I think killing Rumi's mother, I think. I like that's from what I've heard. And this is a deleted scene. So I kind of wish we could have got that context. Like, because it could be she's tolerating Rumi, but at the same time she could feel guilty. She probably feels some guilt or something, but obviously we don't have that context to know for sure. Um, but I think but as we said for like Bobby treats Huntrix way better than Celine does.
Yeah.
Celine, you are not mother.
You are not mother material.
Yeah, like I think, and I kind of like how yeah, and we can talk about it a little bit, like just as Kenny said earlier. Golden literally kind of taps into their like backgrounds a bit, each of their different backgrounds, in the
Mhm.
lyrics of the song, and you can see like visuals kind of showcasing that. And I kind of wish we would have gotten more of like of Zoe and Mira's background story, because I get it that Rumi was like the main focus, but at the same time I wish, Mira and Zoe, we could kind of see how they end up the way they are, you know because what's interesting, that scene when they go to that specific doctor, right? He like psychoanalyzes the girls, and then when he looks at like Zoe, he's like, "You're a people pleaser." I'm like, "Huh." And then of course Zoe is obviously like nervous, like, it's like, where would you get an idea like that? And it's interesting because that bit of dialogue really piqued my curiosity that, hmm, I wonder what happened in her home life to be like, or if it happened in school, if what made her like be like a people pleaser, right? Like, didn't that get you guys like curious? You're kind of like, I wish we could have got like Mira and Zoe's background more, because I wanted to learn more about their background stories.
I guess when you analyze it yourself and relate to them, you would know exactly why they're like that. I guess because like I said, Zoe's raised in America, so people expect her to have like some sort of like Korean culture into her, but even though she's like acting American, and when she's like in Korea, people know her for being raised in America, so it's like she's too much but not enough.
Mm.
And I know what that's like on a personal level.
Mm. Yeah, it's definitely true, because I wish we would have gotten those deleted scenes, because someone, when I was doing my Twitter space for this movie, um they literally told me, yeah, there was like deleted scenes, and they said that this movie originally was supposed to be 2 or 3 hours long, but Netflix literally told them, hey, you got to cut down the runtime. So it really
Mm.
sucks. It really sucks that you're like, no, we could have gotten more about like Zoe's like background. No, why did they have to cut the content? No. Like, I am so disappointed that Netflix made them cut down the time,
Yeah,
because
that's
like then we would have seen like Zoe and Mira's like struggles, because obviously, we've seen Rumi is like the main, it's the story focus is more on her and her struggles, obviously. But I wish, because Zoe and Mira are just as important as Rumi, because obviously, because they form Huntrix. It's not Huntrix without all three of them.
It's,
But
yeah.
But the fact we were robbed of like learning more about Zoe and Mira's like background, we were robbed.
they did kind of explain. I do like how they explain their backgrounds in like the scene when they're all sitting together in the living room. I just wish there were visuals to show that.
Yes, exactly. Like,
To
I
show
want
that
like
Mira's not to show that Mira's not like her family, to show that Zoe has been like told she has to be a certain way.
Mhm. Yeah, because that would make us like learn about them, like at least like in a flashback, at least show a flashback of like, oh, this is what their families expected of them, right? Um, you know, And I think that's what Zoe and Mira have in common. Like, it could be like on both of their ends, it's like family expectations. And that's very
Mm.
relatable when you think about it. Because when you have like especially this happens in like Asian culture, like your parents tend to like put so much pressure on you of like, oh, you gotta pursue this career, you know You know, they kind of tell you, oh, you can't make a living with this type of thing, right? Like they'll tell you, like, especially if you have a passion for it, like say for example, oh, you have a passion for like writing, they're like, oh, you're never gonna get anywhere with that, you need to pursue a career, you know, where the quote unquote money is, right? So I feel like maybe Zoe and Mira like had to deal with those types of expectations, you know, from their family. Probably, you know, it could, that's just a high probability, you know, because this does happen in Filipino culture. Like, um, some Filipino parents will like force their children to pursue like something in the medical field because obviously that's where the money is, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe, you know, they probably both Zoe and Mira had to deal with expectations like that. And, you know, it really hurts where it's like Zoe, like you could say she kind of like overcompensates when she say, like, do you think that's what it is, Doom? Do you think she's like overcompensating? That's why she's like a people pleaser?
I don't know what that word means.
Overcompensating. um Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to word it. Like, um,
You tell me that she's over constant. I don't know what you said, but you don't know the
wait, let me. It's like
content compen. What?
overcompensating. It's basically the taking of excessive measures in attempting to correct or make amends for an error, weakness, or problem.
Probably.
So I'm like thinking, you know, unless if you know, I'm hoping like since we are getting sequels, I'm hoping we get the actual reason because all we can do is just like speculate, you know, just from like hints like in the movie, but like I hope we get
Yeah.
more because
Mhm.
I think we will. Yeah, I
so-
think that's what
it's
the idea is for the sequels, I think.
because we were robbed. We were robbed of learning more about Zoe background. I am like so disappointed. I'm like, it's great that Rumi, you know, she gets most of the background story, but I'm like, oh my gosh, Zoe and Mira were just like robbed. They were robbed of like I wanted to get to know about their background stories. But since, you know, since this movie was very successful, they're like, yeah, we can make sequels. And hopefully the sequels we get more background about them, you know, because obviously it's like we don't really know if Mira and Zoe really resolve their issues because when the doctor tried to psychoanalyze like Mira, she like scares him and she's like, "That's right, do not psychoanalyze me." um, but but I do like their interactions with that doctor. It's pretty funny. Like when you guys say that scene when they go to that specific doctor to help with Rumi's voice.
Too.
Like their interactions are just great. And of course, I know that one scene I think that I love with Huntrix. I think it was like Zoe starts the conversation. It's like we gotta send those disgusting demons back to where they belong. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah!
Like they're so expressive in that scene, and I love it. Like I love how they go into like manly, masculine voices.
They're just hyping each other up. Who doesn't do that?
It's so great. Like what did you think of that scene, Andrew, with Huntrix doing that scene?
Yeah, I love the expressions on their faces and just the animation on that scene is just hilarious.
They're like, yeah, yeah. And then you just see like Rumi just stare at them for like a few seconds. Yeah, and she joins in.
Yeah!
Like it's so great. Like, um, I think also what we gotta talk about that scene when they first see the Saja boys in the alley. And then you see Zoey just like eyeing like Abby's abs. and and then she's like, like it's so anime. It's so anime expressive, and then you just see Mira just eating popcorn while popcorn is coming out of like Zoe's eyes. Like I was like, I never knew using popcorn was so expressive. um, and I kind of like how they're both like eyeing like the other four, and then Rumi's like, it's like why are you eyeing these guys? And then like Rumi just looks, and then she sees Jinu, and she's like,
It's like the most normal looking guy.
yeah. And then I kind of like that scene though because like literally like Jinu just like shoves past her and then she's like, "Oh no." Like she falls down. And then it just has like that hilarious like music in the background while that's happening. And then like Jinu tried to like, holding out his hand, right? And it kind of looks like the typical anime sparkles moment where it's like girl meets guy or guy meets girl. And then he just like just like
Brushes off his shoulder.
brushes his hair and then she's like, what? And then like I love that scene when they first meet them. It's hilarious.
When I think of that scene, people keep saying that they're referencing like K-drama, the K-drama genre, and it's funny.
Well, I think it makes a lot of sense because obviously, this is like representing Korean culture and obviously in Korea they have like K-dramas, Korean dramas.
I
And
love that.
and I think that was like an extra nice touch that they did something like that. They're kind of like showing the cliches and tropes and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're going to do 180," and then he doesn't. And I think that was just so clever doing that because I always enjoy seeing that scene. If anything. But I was just like I was finding it so funny that Mira was just eyeing was eyeing just like Zoey. You're like Mira is probably like the last girl I would expect to be like eyeing. So I was just like, this is interesting, you know, and and stuff. But any other moments of Huntrix you guys enjoyed when any moments?
Uh, hmm. The couch. Couch.
Oh yeah, that one was great. That scene was great. I kind of like how they're like, "Yay!" It's like we're finally going on a break, right? On a hiatus. And then like Rumi's like, "Nah, we're not." And she kind of dashed, and she kind of just like tells like Mira and Zoe, "Yeah, we're not going on a break." They're like, "No." It's like we haven't even had time to. They're like, "No, we haven't even had time to like relax." And I'm just like, Rumi, why'd you do your girls like that, man? I'm just like, all they wanted was an actually good relaxation and vacation because they deserve it, right? But the fact that Rumi does not give them time, so I'm just like, girl, you. I was like, why you gotta do that to Mira? um, like, and I kind of like how like Mira's like, no, you did just launch the new single. Like, um, but I think their dynamic is just great. And I like how each of them shine. They shine together, but they shine each individually as well, and I love that.
Yes. I also like how even though they're like rich and famous, they seek simple pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not snobby about it when you think about it. They're actually humble, you know.
Like they rejected a fancy resort just to be on their couch.
Yeah, and that's totally valid, right? Because like they're just like, we just want to just relax at our home, on our couch, because we deserve it. They deserve the relaxation, you know, and that's good. They don't they don't like the lavish luxury. The fact that they literally, Huntrix pretty much they give the luxury to Bobby, and that just shows that, like, hey man, you deserve it. You've been doing you've been you did so much for us. We want to give you that to you, and I kind of like that they're humble about it.
Yeah, I love that. I'll be right back.
Okay. Like what do you think, Andrew? Like, do you like how, like, they decided to not go with the lavish resort and they just let their manager take it? They're like, hey man, it's like, go take it, you deserve it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I
I
love all
love,
that.
like, I kind of, as I said, I love that they are humble. Like, they're not snobby about it,
Yeah,
like I
exactly. That's
said.
what makes them such likable characters. They're not like, all the fame and fortunes making them like, jerks. Instead, they're actually just really likable characters, and they stay true to themselves without losing themselves with the fame and fortune.
Yeah. Like, I feel like with them, like, literally, I think there was a scene where, like, Zoey and Mira are like, hey Rumi, do you want to come to the bathhouse with us? But obviously Rumi doesn't want to expose herself, because obviously when you go to bathhouses like that, you have to, like, you know you have to, like, take off all your clothes, so and stuff. But the fact, like I said, the fact that they just love the simple pleasures and they're not into the lavish life, I actually enjoy, you know, because
Mm,
I'm kind of like, celebrities, please take note. Please be humble like these three are. you know,
yes.
um, please be humble. Please be humble with, like them. Like, when you think about it, they don't take advantage of their manager. Kind of like, hey man, you deserve the break. Go take it. You know, um, and and that's what makes Huntrix very lovable. And you could say they are adorkable because they do act goofy. Like I said, they're not perfect. They kind of show how goofy and silly they can be. Without the public seeing them. um and stuff. So I think, like, another example is that when they're, like, seeing the Saja boys before they, when the Saja boys are singing Soda Pop, like, you can see how, like, Mira's like, they can make hearts out of nowhere. Like, I'm just like, this is so self-aware. Like, I love the self-awareness in that scene, and I kind of like how, like, Zoe's like the only one that's happily showing that the song is catchy, and then Rumi just stares at her, and then she's just like subtly doing her like doing
Yeah,
her
slowly
shoulders,
moving the shoulders. Yeah.
and then Rumi joins in, and then it's like, it's it is it is annoyingly catchy. It's infectious. like they're trying to, like, we hate your guts, but your song is really good and catchy.
Yeah, it is catchy, to be honest.
Yeah, like, I kind of like how they're like, it's annoyingly catchy. It's like, yeah, I kind of feel like we can all relate to it. I remember, I think even Doom told me that, like, yeah, Soda Pop is catchy for some reason. And literally the characters, like, literally all three of them are saying that, like, why is it so annoyingly, like, like, why is it so annoyingly catchy? And that's literally the question we have, and I kind of love how they're self-aware about it. Um,
Is it only annoyingly catchy because you may hate the song, but you have no choice but to like sing and dance to it?
I think that's
Um,
why Rumi worded it that way. It's like, it's annoyingly catchy because it's like I think they never thought they would be dancing to their song, I guess. I don't know, um but the way Rumi like works it, because obviously they're like, they're trying to hate the guys, because of their encounter with them, but then like, once they see the demon patterns, they're like demons, and then you just hear Zoey like magicians. It was like, Zoey, where'd you get the magicians part from? Um, but I think like after the Soda Pop song, I kind of like how Zoe's like, I think it's like, to be fair, magicians do that too when they disappear with the smoke. I kind of just like all that like subtle stuff, and it's great.
People are still looking at that like special effects.
Yeah. I think, their dynamic is great. Like, I'm very curious who was your guys like favorite?
Ooh, favorite. Ooh.
Favorite what?
Who was your favorite in Huntrix out of the three girls?
I'm gonna say my most favorite out of the three of them, I guess, was, and it's kind of hard because all three had lovely personalities. I'm gonna go for Zoey.
Ah,
I was gonna say
nice.
same.
Yeah, I think it's because, we all need a Zoey in our when you think about it, because like especially when like Rumi was like when she couldn't hit the high note, in the song like she usually does, and then like Zoe's like, hey, don't push yourself, and I kind of love how both Zoey and Mira are supportive, at least like they understand that, like, hey, like don't overexert yourself, you know and and like I said, and like I said, we all need a Zoey in our life. Like, like Zoey is just so bubbly, she's so expressive, and she's supportive, she's loyal. We all gotta have a friend like Zoey. um, but I agree, like Zoey was like my favorite as well. Because she's just so bubbly, you know?
Yeah, so bubbly and also very quirky as well.
Hmm.
In every group of friends, there's the dumb one. That's
But
Zoey. Zoey's the dumb one.
and the fact, when you think about it, and the fact that she's the one who's the rapper of the group, because obviously when right after they sing the first song, they introduce the girls and they literally say that, like, yeah, Zoey is the rapper of the group. I'm like, wow. Like,
Yeah.
because you would think it would be like either Rumi or Mira, but Zoey is the rapper of the group. And it's like, that's so interesting.
It's because she's raised in America.
True, true. That could probably be the case. Because I think, isn't it Mira like I think the one who does the choreography, I think? If I remember correctly?
Yeah, she's the dancer.
Yeah.
Makes
And
the
then
costumes as well, I think.
yeah, I think that from what I can remember, yeah. Because I found it so interesting that, but then when you brought up, oh yeah, she was raised in America. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that's why she's the rapper of the group. um,
What makes her awesome is that she's the lyricist.
oh yeah, Zoey, yeah. um, and I kind of like how each of the girls like fill a different role, but all their roles just mesh well together, like they blend well together. um because obviously Rumi is like the lead singer, and this has been said throughout the movie that like Zoey and Mira have said, like, Rumi, we need you, because you could say that Rumi is like the lead in the group itself, and she is the lead singer. And I find that very intriguing, that it makes me wonder that, like, did the previous generations, I'm presuming they have a lead singer too, and there you could say is like the heart of the harmony, you could say. I Wouldn't you guys say that wouldn't you guys say from like dialogue from like Zoey and Mira that like, oh yeah, they are like literally when they're fighting demons, they're like literally asking Rumi, Rumi, we need you. You know, what was like your guys' thoughts on that?
What's on the ask the question again?
Like haven't you noticed that like there's like dialogue in the movie that like Zoe and Mira, they're like, oh, we can't do this without Rumi. Like it kind of feels like she's the one, like it kind of feels like there's like, it kind of seems to hint that like in all the generations of the demon hunters, they have like a lead singer, I guess, that kind of keeps, I guess, the harmony, I guess. I don't know.
I like
That's
to.
Oh, go ahead.
What?
Sorry, my mom walked by.
Oh.
I was gonna say, I like to think their dynamic is something like popcorn, soda, and a movie, because you have the popcorn, you have the soda, but why do you have them? You're here to see the movie.
I like that. It's really, I like
That's
that.
that's an interesting analogy, Doom. Yeah, it's kind of like you can't have one without the other type
Yeah.
type
Exactly.
feel. It's kind of, yeah, because like yeah, because normally I wouldn't eat popcorn unless if I'm unless if I'm going to see a movie. um, but yeah, like because when you think about it, I think even Zoe is like, we need Rumi, right? Like when they were fighting the demons, they're like, Rumi, we need you. You know, so I think, you
Yeah.
know, you could say that like Rumi is like the heart, I guess, of the group.
Yeah, I would
Um,
say so, yeah. She's like the heart of the group, and the three of them together are united as one.
mhm. Yeah, so and they literally said that like, Rumi, we can't do this without your, so it's like it really just indicates that, yeah, we actually yeah, like all three of us need to be harmonizing and united as well, you know, because that's how the Han Moon has been like, you know, kept together, obviously. And and I and their dynamic has was really great in this movie. And of course, you know, they had like the fallout, you know, which we will like discuss more in like a later segment, but you know, we can discuss it a little bit where, you know, obviously Zoe and Mira find out about Rumi's patterns, and that part
Mm.
broke my heart when I saw that. Like Rumi was trying to like explain herself, but like Zoe and Mira feel like they were like betrayed the like this whole time. Like and as I said, I'm like, way to go, Celine. Like when I saw that scene, I'm just like, way to go, Celine. I'm like, girl, you did dirty. You know, but like that scene really hurt, you know, when I watched it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel bad for Rumi. Like she's trying to explain herself, but like literally like Zoe and Mira are like, you lied to us? Like, how do we even know what you're saying is like truth or lie? I'm like, oh, that stings. Like, what did you both think of that scene?
Yeah, it's quite what's the word? Heart wrenching, you know. You see it's almost like they're like falling apart, you know what I mean, by that moment.
Mhm.
And it's
Right.
like, because you don't like seeing like best friends or even families break apart, do you? It makes you quite like, oh no, no, they must stay together.
Yeah. Like it really hurts because you clearly see their bond and dynamic, and then because of like, because Rumi just didn't have the guts to like, well, like I said, way to go, Celine. But but the fact is that Rumi was literally just trying to explain herself, and they're kind of like, how do you? It's like, how do you? It's like, what else have you kept from us? I'm just like, yeah, like that part really hurt. Like like you said, Andrew, it's very heart wrenching when I saw that part. I'm like, no, no. It was like, why? It was like, why are you breaking my? I really felt Rumi's perspective, because she's like because Rumi, like, obviously, like I said, it's because of Celine. Like, no, you gotta hide those patterns. It's like your friends won't understand. I'm just like, and I just shaking my head. I'm like, well, if you would have told them, they wouldn't be mistrusting you in that scene, obviously. but what did you think of that scene, Doom? Doom?
Doom.
Sorry, I was eating.
But what did you think of that scene?
What I thought about it, like you all say, it's heartbreaking, heart wrenching, or something. But my eyes were completely on Zoey, because you know how Mira is like standing up for what she was told, what she believed in,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's Rumi being like that part that they're trying to, like, fight or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my eyes were like completely on Zoey, because like she's a people pleaser, so like when she saw like the two of them like having different perspectives or something, or I mean, she's completely torn. You notice that?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, notice
Yeah.
how like when Mira found out that Rumi's a like part demon, she immediately like draws her weapon. But like
Mhm.
Zoe, she has like that look on her face, so going on like, I'm sorry, or something, and she just holds out like 2 of her blades, which she normally has 6.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I do agree. Like, yeah, if you actually focus on Zoey, she's conflicted. Like, she's very conflicted, because it's, yeah, like I said, toxic mentality from Celine, way to go. um, because like I said, Celine has like a toxic mentality, because she literally told Rumi to just hide your patterns, because it's like, because Rumi's like, I'm pretty sure they'll understand, and then she's like, no, they won't, because obviously Celine like put this mentality in them that like all demons are bad, they're evil, right? And of course Mira is trying to you know stay by those principles, right? But the fact is that like Zoey is kind of like, this is our friend, this is like our sister pretty much. But the fact she's like, she kind of hesitantly has to like hold out her weapon, that really hurt. As you said, like, as you said, Doom, Zoe was like conflicted, because she's like, oh my gosh, and she's like, and then of course Rumi ran away, obviously, because she's like, oh my gosh, like my two BFFs, who I see as sisters, are like, they're ready to draw their weapons at me. Um, and but the fact, when they, at the end, at least, like, at least, they at least make up. Which I'm glad, but that part really stung. I'm just like, oh, this is so heart wrenching. It's so sad, because because when you think about it, that's so relatable, because it's like you never ever want to be stuck in the middle. Like, when you both agree, like, if two of your friends are like fighting and you're like stuck in the middle and you're like conflicted on who to believe, right?
Oh
I know that
gosh,
feeling
yeah.
all too well.
I know that feeling. I had that way back in childhood.
Tell me
The
about
two
it.
friends fighting. Oh yeah, it's a horrible feeling.
It's
Yeah,
bad.
because you're kind of like, because the thing is, if you're stuck in the middle, you're gonna have to choose a side, and nobody is a winner when you choose sides, right? Like,
Yeah.
say for because we all witnessed it. you know, where it's like you see like two of your friends fighting and then they get into like a very toxic argument and then it gets to a point where it's like it's either me or them. And then you're kind of like, "Oh my gosh." You know, that's kind of what it felt like if you were in like Zoe's position. She's kind of like, "Oh no." It's like she's part demon. She lied to us, but she's still our friend and like a sister to us. And it's like that's why it took Zoe a bit to like react. As you said, Doom, Mira just immediately happened. Like she did not like hesitate, but Zoe did, and it's like, yeah, like Zoe is just so relatable. Like being stuck in the middle and then having to choose a side is a terrible feeling.
I think a reason why Zoe was like hesitantly like drawing her weapon, because like, do you ever notice like throughout most of the scenes it's mostly Zoe and Mira interacting,
Mm-hmm.
and there's Rumi having her own separate story.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the reason why she somewhat drawed her weapon on Rumi, because Mira has been on her side like most of the time.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, like but overall, Huntrix, like I kind of love how they are very characters, you know, and the movie does a great job of like showing like how goofy they can be, how silly they can be, and then also having like Zoe and Mira find out that Rumi's part demon, and then having to deal with like, oh no, they have like this internal conflict. Like I said, it's like a toxic mentality that they're like, oh yeah, we are to slay demons on sight without a second thought, right? But finding out that their fellow demon hunter is part demon, that's when it's kind of like that's a tough call, you know. So I think they do a great job with Huntrix. But any final thoughts on Huntrix before we move on to the next segment?
No, I'm good.
Love them regardless. Continue.
All right. So the next one, we gotta talk about the Saja boys.
We've been talking about Huntrix like the majority, so
Yeah, but we gotta talk about Saja boys because obviously, you know, they wanted to rival, they wanted to pretty much rival the Huntrix, obviously, and that was pretty much Jinu's idea because Guima never bothered to, like I said, Jinu is literally like, let's fight fire with fire, um like we have to target the fans because obviously that's why Huntrix is able to still be popular. So he's like, you know what? We gotta do a boy band. And what I find pretty like hilarious is that Guima's like a boy band. Are you kidding me? like Guima kind of like, are you this plan's not gonna work? And then like the plan does end up working and I'm just like, who's laughing now? The plan worked, dude.
I also like how like before they even did the plan, like during their little transformation, the demons in the background are like, "Oh, it's definitely gonna work."
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like yeah,
100%.
I kind of and of course we did talk about Soda Pop, you know, their debut song, and the fact
Oh
that
yeah.
literally right after, like Guima's like Soda Pop, very catchy, like Guima's
Even sang along to it. My little soda pop. It's catchy.
yeah, at least like even a demon like himself is admitting, okay, that is catchy, like. And I kind of love I actually looked up what Saja means. It actually means lion, which is why their icon is like I think a
A
lion.
lion.
Yeah, so
It is a lion.
I actually like that. And I also love that scene, you know, when they're on that show and they're like trying to compete with the host, trying to drink the spicy stuff out of the bottle, I think. Like it kind of shows that they can be silly too. Um, do you guys remember that scene? Like they're
I
literally
do.
like
Yeah.
they're trying to see who can survive and drink like I think like a spicy sauce, I think, out of a bottle.
Yep. It was like the spicy hot sauce.
And it was funny because like it's like, oh look, it's like, is the host gonna win? Oh no, he's out. Looks like baby wins. Goo goo gaga. It was like,
The only speaking line Baby has.
and I kind of like how when I heard that, I was just like, oh my gosh, this dude has a very deep voice. I thought it was gonna be a soft voice, and he has like a very. When I heard that, I laughed so much. I was like, goo goo gaga. I was like, this is so funny.
Have you heard his parts in like the two of the songs they've debuted in? It was like mostly oh yeah. It's something like that.
So it's so funny because like that scene was just pretty hilarious. Like just seeing them on a talk show and they're like trying to compete with a host. And they're like, looks like romance is out and looks like Abby is out. It was so great. Like that scene was hilarious. But but it kind of sucks that the other four like aside from Jinu, they didn't really showcase any background about them, which really sucks because I would have really loved to know more about the other four.
Mm.
I guess it's because they only fall into these archetypes, I guess.
Yeah.
Because there's abs, there's mystery, there's baby, there's romance.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think that's the reason. Yeah.
Yeah. I also want to talk about like romance's head. Notice how it looks like a heart.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I noticed that. I actually like that extra detail in his hairstyle. Like it um and I kind of like though like also when when they decide to hijack the Huntrix's like meet and greet event
Oh, yeah.
fan event thing, and then you just see him in that scene where he's like flirting with Mira. Like
Good lord.
it's like if we keep meeting like this, I'm like, dude, just stop. like but I kind of like how they just like they're just wearing like sleeping bags and then he just reveal himself. And then Huntrix and then and I kind of like how Bobby's like another table. It's like and then they're like, "Ooh, joint signing?" Or wait, it wasn't joint signing. They're like, "Ooh, like oh, they're doing a signing," and then they lose half their fans in the room. He's like, I was like, we lose half the fans. The Saja boys will sit with us, and they're like, Rumi, what are you doing? Like, and and that scene was also funny because you just see Romance just flirting with Mira, and then like Abby, of course, Mira's in the middle, and then like Romance like on like her right, and then like Abby was on like on her left, and then like Zoe's like, ah, I was like, I'm not saying with not. It's like I'm not saying to any no next to any Saja boy. What's up? And then
I'm not
just
sitting with no Saja boy. What's up?
like I just like if you notice in that scene, Baby is literally drinking a bottle. I kind of like that. Did you guys notice that in that scene?
Oh yeah, I noticed
Yeah, I know.
that.
Yeah.
I love that extra detail. He's just like drinking out of a baby bottle while they're at the sighting. Um, but what I love in that scene is the interaction with like Jinu and Rumi because like literally like obviously Jinu is the one who accidentally found out that Rumi has demon patterns, and then he's just having this conversation with her on the side from away from the others, and then you just see this one fan's like, "Are you two whispering?" And they just like look at each other, they're like citing the thing, and they give it to her, and she's like, "Don't worry, your secret's safe with me." And it says Ruginu. And it's like a really cringe drawing on the t-shirt, and they're just like trying not to cringe at it. Like she's like, "Oh, so cute." And then
I
you
relate
just
to
see
that
Mystery
fancy.
just bark like a dog, and then like that's such a boy. Like I did not understand why Mystery just barked like a dog in that scene. Unless if you guys know the reason, but I laughed at that scene so much.
You think it's because like considering that Zoey and Mystery are like a ship, like what if that fan is actually a guy and he's just barking at them?
Yeah, because it makes because I was confused at why he was barking like a dog in that scene. Like that part threw me for a loop. I'm like, why is he barking? And then like Zoe literally had to like, no, best Saja boy, like literally like talking so funny. Um, but we do have to talk about Jinu because obviously we kind of like learn about his background. Um,
Yeah.
which is really sad because his mom and his sister grew up in poverty, and that's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really felt that. Um, and then unfortunately he got like manipulated by Glima and stuff, and I'm just like, wow. I'm oh, like I felt really bad, like the fact that all he wanted was just to be sure his mother, his sister, and himself at least have some food because that's tough, and him to unfortunately have something, and the fact that Guima has that over his head, it's like,
Let's say
yeah.
like, girl, he was lying.
But it was like I said, I felt bad for him at like I said, when you find out that he grew up in poverty and then he had to like rely on like a demon to give him his singing talent, right? And it's like, and then he pretty much got screwed over. It's like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
like that sucks, you know. And then of course, obviously, he's trying to like be heartless again, when once he exposed Rumi, and Rumi got mad at him, which you can't really blame her, but and then he tried to play it off as like, no, that was a lie. I was the one who pushed my mom and my sister out.
Yeah.
So, so it's like that was heart-wrenching. Like I felt bad. Like I said, him him he and his family didn't even have any food. Like that is so sad. Um but yeah, but the Sasha boys, like I said, their plan worked pretty well.
It did. Yeah. Worked very
So,
well because you could believe like they're a real band. I could believe it's a real group out there in real life.
mhm. Because like Soda Pop, like that song is like it's
It is
so like
catchy. It is.
it's catchy, and the sequence is very colorful when you think about it. And I kind of like that the other song that they sing is like a 180 color opposite, and it's like dark colors. Like, did you notice that, Andrew?
I did. Yeah.
Like they're like in their demon forms because obviously they got the audience like mesmerized, obviously, and literally they have like all these dark colors, and I kind of love the contrast of the two songs that they sing is like polar opposites. Um, so I think what they did with that was clever. Um, you know. But any other thoughts about the Sasha boys before we move on to the next one, Andrew?
I don't have anything else to say. I think they are a fun bunch. Not as fun as the main three, but they are likable characters. And again, it's one of those things of writing good characters and a good story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I just kind of wish we got like background stories of the other four Sasha boys, obviously. Like it's like the Saja boys is like very similar to Huntrix, where it's like only like the main lead, is like the one that gets like the background story explored, which kind of sucks because like I said, like the Saja boys, they're I like them as a group, but the fact that the other four doesn't really get like, background story, same with like I said, same thing I said with like Mira and Zoe. It's like they don't get their backgrounds explored,
Because they're there for background vocals.
Yeah, obviously. All right, so let's move to the next one. Yes, we're gonna talk about the songs. Finally, we're gonna talk about the songs. Okay. Let's try to do it in the order, in the chronological that the songs come in. So let's talk about how it's done, because that's obviously the first song in the movie. Your thoughts on that song?
Mm. The opening song.
What was that?
We're gonna go in chronological order for the songs. So we're gonna start with how it's done, like your thoughts on how it's done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's a great opening song that sums up, into a great introduction to the characters, and it hits hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It really,
absolutely.
and the rapping, and it's just it just goes it goes hard. It goes hard.
I kind of like how someone literally said, I kind of feel like the first song, how it's done, is like, oh, you want an original movie? This is how it's done. Like they literally made fun of the title. And I said, that is so clever. I'm like, you want an animated movie? This is how it's done. And I'm like, perfect. And it's just how you worded it, Andrew. It's a great introduction to the characters. Um and like you said, they go hard in that song, like
Yeah,
like especially when they jump off the plane. and then and I'm going to say this, the public does not see any concerns that they're falling from the sky. It's so funny.
Special
And
effects.
yeah, and the fact that they call it special effects. And you see Mira just like, special effects, right? Like she's being so sarcastic about it, but she's like, yeah, we can't really say anything. But how about you, Dim? What do you think of how it's done?
Well, like Andrew said, it's like a really good introduction song. But I also love how like throughout the song they've been showing people like what they've done and like how they do it. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, like I kind of love how they just said, "Ooh, nice costume to the demon." I'm like that's no costume. Like I really literally jump into the screen and say, that is not a costume person. That's a real demon. um, but yeah, how it's done is just like a perfect introduction, and they did that so well. Um, all right, so can you guys remind me what was the next song?
Golden.
Was it Golden? I just want to be sure I'm doing it in order in the movie.
It was golden.
Okay, Golden. Um, I have to say that song is very inspiring, I'll say.
oh
Like
yeah, very
like
powerful as well.
like it's kind of like, each of them kind of talk a bit, as Kenny mentioned, like in the song Golden, a few of the lyrics does kind of tap into each of their different background stories, and then they're like, and then they kind of, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna inspire you. And I love the lyrics when like, I'm born to be. I'm like, this is so inspiring. And I love the outfits that they wear for that song too.
It's
um
literally golden.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
your guys' thoughts on Golden?
I love Golden. It's my favorite song in the whole in the of all the songs in the movie. It was stuck in my head for days and weeks, and still is in my head. It lives rent free.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely such an inspiring and inspirational
And it's
song.
yeah, and it's so popular.
Mm.
Like, my mum actually mentioned today when she was in a cafe just down the road where I live, they were playing that song in the cafe.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
You can't
Yeah.
blame them. The song is pretty good, you know?
It is. It's too iconic right now.
Yeah, like, cause didn't it reach like records, I think?
Oh
I
yeah, it did indeed.
I forgot what number it was though.
No idea, but
Wasn't
it better reach gold. Hat.
wasn't it number 1 or something? Wasn't it?
I'm trying to remember because I
Maybe
saw
number
some.
2 or 3.
Oh, I think yeah, I think it was number
Uh,
2 actually.
The film soundtrack saw a major success, reaching number 1 and top 10 positions in multiple music and streaming charts.
Mm.
That's what it says on Wikipedia.
Ah.
Wikipedia, bro.
But yeah, Golden, very solid song. And I kind of like how I do love how the start of the song starts because like, ooh, new single, and it's like, and it just shows each of them, and I'm like, I like that. I like that intro. Um, it was a perfect way of introducing the song, which was which was done perfectly, I'll say. Like that entire sequence of their music video for that song was like seamlessly perfect.
You know
um
something that I question about the song Golden?
oh, what is it?
Mhm.
So you know how like in the second verse, or maybe it might have been, yeah, it's the second verse. You notice how like Rumi just talks about like put these patterns all in the past now and finally live like the girl they all see.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, did Zoe and Mira like
Did
do
they
they know
not?
about this verse?
Oh, that's a great question. Like, did they not question it? Like,
Or is it just like a private thing that I don't know.
yeah, yeah, that part is like a little bit confusing because uh it's
Like
pretty
it's
obvious Zoe and Mira had no idea about her deep patterns. It's like, wait, how come they never went over the lyrics?
maybe there might be a verse we don't know about that Zoe and Mira are supposed to be in, but maybe it's just like there that maybe it's just something that Rumi just sang to herself. Like we know it's in this, we know it's in the soundtrack version, right?
I I would have to listen to it. Probably is.
Did you listen
um,
to this? Did you listen to the soundtrack version?
mm,
Lena!
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I think I only listened to the movie version. Is it different in the soundtrack version?
No, because
Oh,
like
okay.
because like I feel like that verse is supposed to be like a private verse that Rumi sings to herself.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I
That
was
makes
just
sense.
I was
Yeah.
just thinking in the movie there might be a verse we don't know about, so
Oh, okay.
but
That
hey,
makes.
that's just a theory.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just a
absolutely.
theory. Game theory.
Theory.
Um, I'm trying to remember. Is the next song Soda Pop, or is it a different song?
And soda pop.
I think it's Soda Pop.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. I'm going to word it just like how the girl like it's annoyingly catchy. like like it's kind of like you don't want to dance to the song, but it makes you want to dance. And I remember Doom, you told me, why is Soda Pop so catchy? It makes me want to dance. I'm like, yeah, that's literally how Huntrix was doing. They're trying not to dance, but it is catchy.
It's catchy, but also very positive.
So people think like the song is like really catchy, but my question is, what's the meaning of the song?
It's about they're obviously, I think it's like meant to be a love song, isn't it? We talk about "You're My Little Soda Pop," all you can think of, and all I want. If you listen to the lyrics, it's pretty much it's a romance song technically.
Mm.
So I had to look this up.
Yes.
Apparently, from what it looks like, it's supposed to be like a metaphorical thing. Like
Oh,
it's like it's really catchy, but there's like a darker meaning to it because knowing that they're demons, like how do I explain this? Like
Oh, like they want to
you're my
drink up the souls.
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Oh
It's a
my gosh, I didn't pick up on that.
it's like a metaphor for like
Like
and
you're
it's
my soda pop, I'm drinking you up. And by you
yeah
I mean your soul.
like
Oh my gosh.
yeah it's basically a metaphor because when you think about it in the later song Your Idol they are talking about we're here to take your soul
I thought
like
we're going chronological order.
no but I'm just kind of saying that it's kind of foreshadowing that's in that to that song obviously but yeah, Soda Pop, very catchy. And literally they got like a trend going where their shoulders and people are doing shoulders and Bobby was showing them. I'm like, yeah, like wouldn't you want to do that too if you were like if you were seeing like viral after Soda Pop?
Like do we like what was that?
Like
What was
you
it?
know
Yeah,
how
what?
like you know how like people were doing video trends in the movie, that viral trend where they're like shaking their shoulders,
Oh, mine does that all the time.
yes. But you can't really blame the people because very very solid song. Okay.
I guess when you look at the choreography of something, you can't help but learn it just for the fun of it.
Yeah, I've actually seen people dance to it. Like they actually had like them and four other people actually dance it. I'm like, oh, this is so neat. Like I've seen videos on Instagram and I was like, oh, that's so cool. um but yeah, Soda Pop, another solid song. I believe the next one is supposed to be Takedown, right? If
Oh
I'm
yeah,
Yes.
another song. Yes, another one that goes really hard.
Yeah, Takedown, I love how like yeah. Well, what's interesting about the song is that I love how the Huntrix is like, yeah, we're gonna write a song of taking down the Saja boys. And what's ironic is that this was turned around on, if you guys notice that
Oh, I've noticed.
during, and I love that it's like Huntrix is like, yeah, we're gonna use this song to take them down. And then it's like, nope, it took down Huntrix instead. So it does a 180 where like Jinu uses that to his advantage and then makes like an illusion version of Mira and Zoey that dance with like Rumi, and then they're like, and like it's actually what's interesting. I actually kind of call it like how when the fake Mira and Zoe were like circling her, it kind of gave like we don't talk about Bruno vibes where it's like going into like a circular motion during that song.
Yeah,
Like it kind of gives like when you think about it, when all the other family members were telling Mirabelle we don't talk about Bruno to her, and she's like, why did I bring him up? And obviously what there's the like they're making Mirabelle feel uncomfortable, and that's literally what the fake Mira and Zoe were doing. They were like making her feel uncomfortable, like, and then she started to notice that they're like the fake ones were like taking off like the what do you call it, the shoulder pads, and then like revealing her pattern, and then she got like very
yeah.
uncomfortable. So it's very interesting. Like I said, this song is literally about the Huntrix, like, yeah, we're gonna take down the Saja boys. And it's like 180, nope, use that song against Rumi. And it's like, it's such an interesting way to utilize a song. And I love that. I think it was clever too.
I love Takedown. It's like I understand why Rumi doesn't want to do it because like instead of using it like on the Saja boys, she just views herself on that like I'm one of them. So what does that mean for me?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think it was like perfectly done, the way they did that. And I think and like I said, I love when songs do stuff like that, especially when it's like pertaining to the plot. And this song was perfectly executed because if I was in Rumi's position, yeah, I would feel uncomfortable where like the illusion Mira and Zoey just taking off your shoulder pads and then revealing, and to that point where it reaches her breaking point and then she screams and then the lights go out. I'm like, wow. Like I love how it builds up and then it like goes to like Rumi's breaking point. Like
The fact
that,
that I know that feeling all too well.
yeah. Absolutely. So I think, they did a great job with Takedown. I believe after Takedown, it was Your Idol, I believe, right?
No, no. I don't think
No,
so.
wait. What was the next one? You might have. What's the? Is it a
Free?
Oh, Free. Okay. Sorry.
Are you kidding me, Leah?
Sorry, I'm trying to remember the sequence.
Isn't that your favorite song?
Yes. But that one I think was really I really love bet between Rumi and Jinu. The fact that, they both opened up to each other. Because obviously Rumi did not trust him at first, which you can't really blame her because he's a demon. And it's like demons don't have no emotions or feelings. That was literally what was instilled into the Huntrix mentality. But I think I love the rapping in that one. Especially like Jinu's part. I think what they did with that was very yeah. As Doom said, Free is my favorite because I feel like it's very underrated. Because it's not like it doesn't go hard. It's more like a lullaby. Like kind of sounds like a lullaby.
It's a lullaby? I don't feel
It
sleepy
kinda
when I hear it.
No, it kind of just feels like its sounds are like softer. You know how like most of the other songs are like they go really hard on
Yeah, but instead
that
of
one
like a lullaby, I like to think that this is like a song that are lullabies always like the kinds that where you just like open up to people and you go like, yeah, I guess we could. I don't know how to explain it. I always thought lullabies were just like songs that get you to sleep.
I'm trying to think. What's that word? Um,
I was always
the-
under that impression because that lyric and because like I was told that lullabies are like that, and plus that how it's done lyric knocking you out like a lullaby.
yeah. But I think with like I love that like Free is like different different tone in song because all like with how it's done, takedown, like they go very and this one it's like uh I wouldn't really say it's a romance song because even though it is a duet, but it's like at the same time it's like just like we can be free from our burden because obviously they both have burdens, you know and 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 I think they having a song like that where like Rumi is like yeah like she's admitting this is a burden. you know um I think with what they did for that song, I think it was like very beautiful. And they're just looking at each other and I guess flying through the air. um in that sequence, it was definitely it was just you could say it's like just the realization that like yeah we have like burdens, like obviously with Jinu he's like oh, I thought all these human emotions were like buried, right? But because ever since chatting with Rumi, it really reawakened those like human emotions, you know. And the fact is that what's interesting is that Rumi like decides to like confide in like Jinu instead of like Mira and Zoey, which is quite interesting.
Because like they both relate to each other.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
something that Zoey and Mira wouldn't understand.
yeah. And I think, that was like, Rumi couldn't really, obviously, like I said, way to go, Celine. Like Rumi couldn't even tell like her best friends, and that she has demon patterns, but the fact that like Jinu's like, I understand what it feels like to have these patterns, um so this song was just very solid. But what did you guys think of like Free?
Yeah, I think it's a very nice song. It changes the kind of tempo compared to the other songs in the film. That's quite actually it's got a nice variety. Actually, the songs you got from kind of hard hitters, and then you got your kind of bubbly, fun ones like Soda Pop, and then and you have this one, which is quite more, what's the word, magical and freeing.
Like it kind of feels like, when you think about it, kind of feels like a Disney song.
Yeah, and in some
Like
ways you feel like you can fly as well.
like it kind of gives you like, those Disney songs that are like duets, and especially like I said, I wouldn't really call this a romance song per se,
Dang
but
it, I
it's
wish it was.
like because it's just them like talking, that like, why does it feel right that I can open up to you? Why does it feel like I can tell you anything? This is like just two people who can just like relate about their burdens, because the thing that they have in common is these demon patterns that they both find as like a burden. Like Rumi obviously is like ashamed of this other half of herself. And then like Jinu is like, he really wants to like, apparently Guima promised him that like he'll erase his memories, and then he won't those voices in his head, right? So having a song that's, even though it's not romantic, like I said, there are a lot of like new fans, which I don't blame them, but I think, this song really cements that, yeah, like I can tell you anything. It's something they can just relate to with each other, and I think they really showcase that very well in this song. Very solid. um okay, let me see. And then it should be Your Idol next, right? Or
Yeah, then it's Your Idol.
Yep.
okay.
Your idol. Yep.
Okay, I have to say I love Your Idol. That song, like, I kind of like the contrast it has to Soda Pop, because I told Andrew this earlier while you like AK a bit, Doom, that like that Soda Pop and Your Idol are like the colors, in the background in both of those sequences are just like polar opposites, and I love the dark colors they use for Your Idol. And I think it was just like, I love how they're like not even like subtle in their lyrics. um so the fact they're like, yeah, I'm gonna get your soul now. Like they literally say it in the song, and I'm just like, wow, you guys are not subtle about this. um but literally, I think I told you, Andrew, that Ultimate actually likes, whoa, it's like, Your Idol, this actually goes pretty hard. I'm like, I was like, yeah, I was like, Your Idol, I kind of feel like it's underrated. Um,
Mm.
and the fact that they're dancing in like what do you, I don't know, are they like wearing, they're wearing like their hats and then they're wearing like cloaks or something, or coat or something. I
I
don't
like to
really
call them robes. I don't even know what they are.
because it's kind of
Yes,
hard
the
to tell.
robes, the dressing gowns. Yes.
Like I couldn't really tell. I was like, is that a coat or is that a robe? I was like, but I like the color scheme for your idol. Like it's really great. I just
It's
love
full of
how,
black and red, and I like it.
yeah, like the vibes of it is great. Like if I was in that crowd, I would be mesmerized too, man. I'm just saying. But Ultimate liked that song a lot. He's like, wow. I was like, that was a great song. I was like, yeah, I was like, I feel um because most people either talk about Golden or how it's done, you know. And I never hear people talk about your idol.
I like how your idol is sung by 3 different languages.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're the English, the Korean, and the Latin.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you told me like the beginning of the song was like um
I know it's Latin because I sing in choir.
which is good that you are aware that's Latin, you know.
They were
um
they pronounced the U's with moos or something. Ooh.
that makes a lot of sense actually. um but yeah, your idol, another banger of a song. I was just like, wow. And the fact that Guima is just like above them and stuff, and then all the colors just blend so well. Um
Wait,
Mm.
does that make Guima a background dancer?
I don't know. He was just there that
I
like,
would
well, I
say
need
yes.
I mean, he plays a part in the he plays a part on the stage. He's just the fighter.
yeah. Like it's quite intriguing, and I like your idol. And of course, right after your idol is What It Sounds Like. I have to say, I love that they end on this song.
Oh yeah.
Because of the fact, we are going to get it into like a later segment, but we can talk about it. It's just basically like Rumi's talking about that, um like this demon half of me, part of me is like a part of me. I have to like, and she and and by that time she learns to like accept herself, you know, because obviously Rumi had like insecurities, like I said, it all goes back to Celine. um like I said,
Celine.
and the fact that and I kind of like how when Zoey and Mira join, as like, they kind of say their parts and then they're like, um and it's kind of like from their perspective of like of how they reacted, you could say, to the reveal to them that, oh, you're part demon. Um, and I kind of like when they draw their weapons in that song, because like Guima's like, "Stop that song, stop singing." like Guima's trying to
Continue
like,
singing. We're shattering the silence.
and then you see them like draw out their weapons and they're just like fighting like the demons right there. And I love that sequence so much. Like that sequence was amazing. Um, and then when they hug, see like the Han move, right? And that was like beautiful, like, and that was like beautiful because like in a way like Mira and Zoe are like, yeah, we still love you even though part demon, and you could say that was their acceptance of like, okay, we have to like, we come to the realization that you are like our best friend and a sister to us,
Yeah.
and we accept you, and that's important, because obviously, in the previous segment, in when we were talking about Huntrix, obviously that they Mira held no hesitation, to draw out her weapon, and then Zoey was just hesitant. So now they come to accept the fact that yeah, she is part demon, but we still love you. And I think that's like beautiful messaging.
You know what I noticed with the songs?
Oh, what is it?
What it sounds like and Free, those are like unofficial like releases, like release songs in the movie, right? Notice how both of them are sung in English. Mostly, like not mostly, all of it. All the lyrics are
Oh,
sung in English.
oh, that's true. Very true.
Mm.
Very interesting. Yeah,
I feel like I was the only one who noticed that.
yeah, I didn't really know. Oh, sorry, I'm just like replying to a message. Oh yeah, we will speed run. We will speed run the last. Because I know you said you got soon, Andrew, but yeah, the songs are all bangers.
We kept
um
talking about Huntrix a lot, so
yeah, so
Yeah.
let's go to the next segment. Animation is quirky and expressive. Yes.
I love the animation in this film.
Yes. Yeah, the animation, like I just love how it really shows their personality so well with this animation. Um like it's just so quirky and it's very anime expressive.
I would say anime
Yeah.
expressive because like you know how like Mira and Zoe were staring at Abby, like
Yeah.
popcorn comes out of their eyes. What anime do you know like has popcorn tears?
No, I'm not talking about the popcorn aspect. It's like you remember the heat was like rising in Zoe's like face.
Wait, what?
You know the animation where like Zoe, you see Zoe and she's like eyeing Abby's ass.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
did
that
notice that. Like that does give off anime, but what doesn't give off anime is the popcorn eyes. So
yeah, the popcorn eyes was something I never expected would actually work.
Yeah.
But the animation is just great in this movie. Sony Pictures did such a phenomenal job about
Oh,
it.
they did indeed. Yeah.
they managed to do it in Spider-Verse, why not?
Yeah.
Exactly. Did it
And
once, you can do it again.
yeah.
This time with original characters and not Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all we got to say because it's just very quirky and expressive. For the
Which is
animation.
great because not many animated films go this expressive these days compared to like the Sony ones. Sony seems to be getting the idea of like, okay, we're going to go really animated with our animation. Well, most animations kind of stay a bit grounded, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
This embraces like it knows it's a cartoon, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, like they embrace it so well and and we have to give applause for Sony Pictures for like going the extra mile to make them so expressive. Um and I do agree with you, Andrew, a lot of anime don't really give the characters too much expressiveness, unlike this movie. Um so
Yeah.
yeah. All right, I think we're on the last segment, and we did touch upon this, but this is like basically Rumi's character arc of learning to accept yourself. This is a very powerful message because obviously, like I said, I've been saying throughout this live stream, it all goes back to Celine. You know, Celine, as you mentioned earlier, Doom, she just tolerated Rumi, which is really horrible when you think about it, because when Rumi's like literally saying, maybe they'll understand, and then Celine's like, no, you gotta hide them. Like, no, it's like they won't understand. Um, which really sucks because that really played into like Rumi's insecurity. And then the fact is that If you notice, there's a part in the movie where Mira come with them to a bathhouse, but Rumi has always said no. But it makes a lot of sense in terms of Rumi's character because she's insecure and she knows that like they're going to find out that way, which is really sad. Um, and do you want to know what really was heart-wrenching about this for Rumi for me?
Yo.
Remember the part when she confronts Celine right after she runs away from Mira and Zoey when they happens? She's like, Mira and Zoey found out. And then like Celine's like, no, we can just tell them it was like just an illusion or something. I'm like, or something like that. That's along the lines of that. And she's like, no. And the fact that it got into a mental breakdown and she's like, look at me. And she's like, why can't you love me? And then like Celine's like, I do. It's like, why can't you love all of me? And and then the fact is that she's like, why can't you look at me? Like literally Celine is like not looking at her. And she's like, and the fact that that just gives like Rumi the confirmation that like, oh, you didn't love you didn't love the whole me, which was heartbreaking, and like I said, Celine has a toxic mentality, um, that like, no, you gotta hide your patterns because they won't understand. And I'm just like, that was terrible because that really played into Rumi's insecurity, which was really sad, unfortunately. Um, but what did you guys think of learning to accept yourself message in this film?
Yeah, I think accepting yourself is the key to everything, really. Not just within yourself, but you need others to also accept you. Because once everyone accepts who you are, you can be yourself. As long as you accept yourself as well, and it can help you grow. It can help you move forward. It can help you, go forward with who you truly are supposed to be. And I think they bring that message very, very well in the movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How about you, Do?
I mean, knowing how like they've been going through their whole life, like being told who they're supposed to be instead of like who they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like this song, it just really shows like I don't know how to explain it because like I haven't. I really don't know how to explain it. All I know is that it's a powerful message that like when darkness meets the light, this is what it sounds like. I don't know how to explain it, really.
Yeah, because like Rumi had to like like she literally had to admit, I lied. Like she literally was telling Mira and Zoey, I lied to you, you know. And that's a good thing that she admits that she lied to them, you know, because learning to accept every part, and like I said, I love how she said these scars are a part of me. Um yeah, and she's kind of like she had to like just accept this part of herself, because being true to yourself is important, but the fact that Celine told her like what was really interesting is that in my Twitter space we had touched upon this where it's like um Celine was the one who was defining Rumi. No, you're a demon hunter, that's who you are. Just ignore that you're half demon, you know. But like Rumi, like I said, it was like under like unfortunate circumstances that Jinu was the one that like exposed her. She had to like, okay, like she had to learn to just accept it, you know. Um and and now that like Rumi is like, I'm not going to let like Celine define me anymore. Like this is who I am. I have to accept this demon half, and that's important, because we all have flaws that we hate about ourselves, that we may feel insecure
Mm.
about, but learning to accept it because no one's perfect. That's just the reality. Nobody is perfect, and we all have flaws, and this messaging in the film is just like is beautiful because it's like saying, hey, you got to accept everything about yourself, whether you see it as like a burden or a flaw. Just accept yourself, and it's a very beautiful message, that you have to learn to love yourself so that way that others can love you too. And that's just beautiful, you know. Any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts on the topic or the film?
Yeah, probably pretty much the film in general now, since we're like ending.
Yeah, I think it's such a very unique film that's refreshing. And this is the kind of movies we need more of actually in the cinema, and not just go straight to streaming, because you know this is what we need. You know what I mean? Like we always get these remakes and sequels, and it's the kind of concepts and ideas that we want to go to the cinema for, to have like something refreshing and exciting. I'm glad that they are showing some sing-along screenings, and I just checked out my local cinema. They're showing it this weekend, so I will be seeing it on the big screen. So, well, hey.
Hey,
Sweet.
let's go.
You
How
better be
about
singing along.
I
yeah,
will
you
be singing along, especially with Golden.
yeah.
And
Any
Soda Pop. Vital
oh,
Soda Pop.
Sing the high notes if you must.
I will try.
But how about you, Doom? What's your final thoughts on the film in general?
At first, I have no idea how to feel about it. Like, the movie is just like a weird concept that I never thought would become like a whole entire film. But looking at it for like a few times, I realized, oh dang, I actually like it. This like that the fact that it shows the history of like generations of the hunters, the fact that the recent hunters, they have to go through family trauma and stuff like that. The songs are great. I was in denial at first, but then I was like, now I'm listening to the whole album. We're
Yeah, like I think this film does such an amazing job at like
oh damn, I
um
wasn't finished.
like I feel like they do a great job of you falling in love with their songs. Like every song, like there was like no weak song at all. Like throughout the film, all the songs are just like they're all bangers in their own way. And and usually I'm like the type, if I'm gonna listen to like a soundtrack, I tend to be very picky, but this, like I can listen to any of the songs. Um where I'm kind of like where I'm favoring one over the others too much, but all of them are very amazing songs. So I gotta commend Sony Pictures for like um being able to write songs that are all bangers in the soundtrack. um
The
and
songs are amazing. Also, I wasn't finished. I was gonna say, like, I relate to all of the members of Huntrix on a personal level, and this movie just made me like open my eyes to something else.
yeah. Yeah, all three of them are very relatable. Um and I think, they just make characters that are just so grounded. And hopefully we get more, like I said, I hope we get more like Mira and Zoe's like backstories. We were robbed. um but on that note, I will have to unfortunately end this live stream, but I want to thank you, Doom and Andrew, for doing this movie review. Kpop Demon Hunters. It was just like
Oh yeah.
it was a lot of fun just talking about the um specific topics, of course, in the movie, and like it like I said, to this day I am still listening to the music.
Oh, same.
Me too.
Like the music is just so catchy. Like it's kind of like it's basically like Mira said, it's infectious. Like it's infectious. Like you
It
can't
really is. Yeah.
like
We
like,
got
you
to cover one of the songs now.
yes, like I think I feel like I'm getting like a Sonami idea with Free.
I meant like all of us, including you, but okay.
Oh, like all of us singing it?
I guess.
Oh my gosh. But of course I want to thank you guys for this. And of course, and also going along with having our OCs just as Huntrix, it was just like the perfect
Oh
opportunity.
yeah. Thank you, Leah, for drawing these lovely pictures and artwork.
Yeah, they're so cute.
Yeah, like literally when we decided to do K-pop Demon Hunters, I'm like, you know what? Gonna have our OCs dressed as Huntrix. So I literally took the time off my busy schedule of like planning stuff that like I need to color this in and then send it to them so they have it as their PFPs. And um but yeah, this was a lot of fun. And of course I'm going to announce the upcoming stuff. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. PT, 8 p.m. ET. This is in my Discord server, which is Favorite Summer Memories Chat with Leah, with me. If you want to talk about your favorite summer memories, it can be from your past or present. Um, I think that one is going to be a lot of fun. um, and then, of course, on Thursday, I have another Twitter space, which I am celebrating my 2nd anniversary of my Goddess Spotlight with LSR podcast series. It's like literally 2 years now since I've been like doing my Q&A series. So if you want to ask me any questions and talk about your favorite moments, from any of the Q&As I have hosted, here's your chance. And that is going to be on a Twitter space tomorrow. No, on Thursday, August 21st, and that will be at 4:30 p.m. PT, 7:30 p.m. ET. And then this Friday is the next episode of Sonic Lore with Radar, episode 9, which Radar is going to be answering questions about the Sonic Channel website lore, and that will be at 1 p.m. PT, 4 p.m. ET. And of course, I just announced like upcoming episodes of Goddess Spotlight with LSR. Episode 39 will be Q&A with Badnik Mechanic, which is this coming Monday, August 25th at 5 p.m. PT, 8 p.m. ET. And then I just announced another Goddess Spotlight with LSR, episode 40, with Q&A with G to the next level. So that will be September 18, 2025 at 4 p.m. PT, 7 p.m. ET. So hopefully you guys get to tune in for these upcoming stuff that I'm hosting. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on that bell notifications for upcoming live stream and video content. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and may you all have a wonderful rest of your night. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.